Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1341 of our daily content grind. So, the Shizuoka hobby show is currently going on in Japan. Takara is there showing off a ton of stuff, and a lot of that stuff is involving a lot of the things that we have seen over the last few months, but now we're getting better looks at it, and we're also getting teases of things that we just found out about. And then they threw in a couple surprises while they were at it. So we're going to take a look at everything that got shown off and released there. So keep in mind, a lot of this is still early. I believe this show goes on for a few days. This is just day one stuff. And also keep in mind, day one photos are always terrible. So if new photos come out, we will cover them in the news roundup on Monday. But for now, let us get into the meat and potatoes of what exactly got shown off. First off, we have this lovely spread. Now, there's a few things going on in this shot, and I wish I had better photos of anything of it, but no one took any. So first off, on the far left, you have a completed Studio Series 86 Devastator, looking really, really nice. Yeah, it is more cartoon accurate. We knew that was the intent. But the big thing here is that there are prototypes of Scavenger and Mixmaster thrown in as well. We don't get a good look at them, but they are there. So hopefully we get good shots of those so we can at least see how this guy is going to turn out. Someone can Photoshop that gray into the proper green and purple hue. You know, the usual stuff when things like this are announced. That said, the centerpiece here, and I wish there was a better photo because this one's even blurry, is a MPG hauler. So, if you don't remember, Hauler is possibly one of the more confusing characters in Transformer history. A character accidentally created in the first episode when Cliffjumper screamed up to a character named Hauler, who seemed to be a Yellow Crane truck. Yellow Crane truck only appeared in Season 2. That's Grapple. There's never been any official confirmation as to why. The presumption by the fan base is that the crane truck from Diaclone was intended to be in the first year of releases, but got pushed back to year 2. This is supported by the fact that in the original assortment of Autobot cars, there were 12 figures in a case, but Mirage was duplicated, and the only one in the wave that was duplicated. Which does mean that potentially someone was removed from it. Skids would eventually take its place, but you know, it does feel like a last-minute substitution thing. So all that said, yeah, Hauler eventually got recast as a former Constructicon, hence the green color scheme. And how does it feel for your favorites like Mirage, Jazz, Reflector, and all them? How does it feel knowing that a random character created by accident got a masterpiece before any of them? It's screwed up, isn't it? But that said, Hauler is at least interesting. He's in the exact same shade of green as the 86 Constructicon, so that's fun. And then the far right is a in-hand, fully color proto for the upcoming MPG Optimus Prime. And yeah, this is again where I wish I had a better shot. This is as good of a shot as we got so far. So he's looking like he's taking a lot of cues from MP10 here, you know, especially in the fact that the yellow on the midsection is translucent inserts rather than paint. So he does have a little bit of that going on. I've finally decided that if you take a look at Masterpiece Primes and the and the 2.0, the MP10, if that is the perfect incarnation of a toy Optimus Prime, and then the MP44, am I getting the numbers right? I don't remember anymore. The MP44, the animation accurate, if that is the best animation accurate Optimus Prime, then the MPG here, this Style Gen version, is going for the best modern Optimus Prime, with the 5mm ports, the modern styling, much more closer to Generations in design emphasis and even engineering. That seems to be the vibe I get. if all these MP Optimus Primes represent certain aspects and certain directions as far as aesthetic and function, he feels like what happens if you took Siege or Earthrise Optimus Primes and pumped them up all the way to the max as far as design detail and functionality go. And that's what you get. And that's the vibe I'm getting. It doesn't make me want him anymore, but it definitely gives me some idea of why he exists. This particular shot came from a wider shot of this lovely spread. So, yeah, you can see this is all over the place. They have tons of stuff showing off. A lot of it, the upcoming Hasbro releases, basically just confirming that they are coming to Japan. The Hearts of Steel stuff especially is kind of interesting. I'm not even sure Japan got that comic book, but whatever. But if you look carefully, right in the center, there is something that is far more worth noting. It's our first look at another Missing Link set. So when they do Missing Link toys, it seems like the vibe is, here's a cartoon accurate one, here's a toy accurate one, even though they're all based on G1 molds. They didn't do that with Bumblebee because they just created Cliffjumper to be like his secondary usage. Well, that's not really fair. There are different characters and different molds. So here we have the animation accurate versions. Bumblebee's got his toon accurate head like a lot of the later Bumblebee reissues would get. They're done up in gray color schemes rather than black, which for Cliffjumper I think is fine. Bumblebee I think looks a little bit too pale. His colors absolutely should be closer to black than they are to like the middle gray like they are here. But no, it's a cool set. You have to buy two of them at once, and I already think those two are kind of overpriced for what they are individually, so getting a 2-pack of them just to get animation colors or that animation accurate head seems like a little bit much to me, but there you go. At least they are going to be available for your Missing Link collection if you went with animation style for your Convoy, and we'll be going animation style for your RC. You will have the counterparts here. Touching back to the Constructicons really quick, there was a photo that's potato quality, but does give you some semblance of a silhouette for Scavenger and Mixmaster's robot modes. Scavenger looks very Scavenger. In silhouette, he looks like he's wearing a diaper. That's a very, very, that's a very saggy underwear going on with him. I presume that's his shovel arm visible between his legs. I hope so anyway, otherwise that's going to be very uncomfortable to play with. And then the one that Mixmaster is actually concerning. I was hoping he'd be a little bit bulkier like Scrapper was, since he's going to be a leg. But his parts are actually looking a little bit scrawny, and it looks like there's panels hanging off of his arms. You can see where the silhouette kind of kind of changes, and then on the back side of his upper arm, on the left arm, you can see where it's a little bit blocky coming off of the upper arm. The part that concerns me more is the fact that those thighs are so scrawny. That's weird. That looks actually kind of weird here. Mixmaster's my favorite. I was hoping Mixmaster would end up being the best of these guys, and I was hoping being a leg meant he'd be a little bit beefier. It might be the opposite. Weirdly enough, it looks like he's going to be a little bit odd in how he is shaped, so I'm waiting, a little bit nervous now. And now I'm a little bit nervous about my boy Mixmaster. Let's go into something we can actually see. Synergenex showed off their latest brilliance. So now we have actual in-hand prototypes for the upcoming Shield D Prime, the Zoids crossover. Now remember, this is also not only Zoids and Transformers, this is also Diaclone. This is Diaclone in engineering style as well as in function. So this will be in your Diaclone play pattern, but this also means this is probably going to be ridiculously expensive for what it is. But that's the thing though. This is falling under Diaclone's engineering designs and preferences. This is going to be a very high quality piece. They don't skip out on things. As a shield Liger, he's looking pretty good. I mean, not a whole lot of Transformer showing through here. A little bit of the Diaclone showing, especially in the fact that he does have a cockpit and he does have a Diaclone pilot. Looking pretty good so far. And then Optimus himself. The big lion head as the chest does look a little bit odd. That might be a little bit weird. But otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit scrawny, which makes the head chest look even weirder now that I look back again. It's going to be an amusing crossover piece. And if you look at the design styles, your Diaclone, you can absolutely see where like the Diaclone aesthetic comes in. Maybe not necessarily the engineering aspect, but like similar to when they did Gridman, you can absolutely see where like that Diaclone engine design style is getting pushed. It's an interesting figure. It's a really interesting figure that's probably going to lead, hopefully, to some other cool additions to it. Megatron as a Geno Breaker, please. Or a Berserk Fury, one or the other. I'll take either. That said, just as a little side note, Synergenex also showed off the other side of this, where they're just doing Zoid Evangelions. Has nothing to do with Transformers or the topic of the day. I just threw them in because these things are amusing. They look like they're just little Rev Raptors that have Ava unit heads on them, which might be the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I'm eager to see these in color, just to see how weird they end up looking. But they make for a really nice segue to this teaser. We found out that we're getting another Optimus Prime. We're getting another Transformers Evangelion crossover, and this one looks like it's going to be a take on an Optimus Prime as Ava Unit 01. But the trick here is, unlike the last attempt to do that with MP10, this one's absolutely a new mold. Now, looking at the shapes, especially like the forearms and the feet through the lettering and just general part placement, this one actually might be more based on the movie Optimus Prime, which is not a bad switch up. We've had, more G1 style for things like the Rathalos and now the Shield Liger. To mix up with a different aesthetic Optimus would not be a bad idea, and I do think that aesthetic might work better with Evangelions, so that would not be a bad choice. But no, big tease here. We're just waiting with bated breath to see how this turns out. I don't think this is going to take very long. I want to say they announced that there's going to be something, like they did announce May 14th, which of course this is the teaser for it. Whether or not we get actual photos of it or if it shows up later on as the toy show is going on, we don't know. But if the prototype is close enough done to show a silhouette, it's not going to be very far off. Takara doesn't sit on these teases for very long. Let's go into some other Synergenex stuff, because we also got a gray proto physical for the upcoming Macross 7 Optimus. This is still one of the craziest designs I think I can see. Aside from the fact that you're turning Optimus Prime into anything resembling a Macross Valkyrie, it's already crazy to me. You also go very heavy into patterning him off of Macross 7's main character with a whole entire speaker setup, microphone, guitar, and his matrix is replaced with more speakers. What is going on here? This is absolute insanity. You also have even multiple faces going on. So here's a nice group shot of everything. And here you can see just like, you can get some semblance of an idea of how this toy is going to transform. He does look like he's going to be a very complicated boy to transform, which is a little unfortunate. What I can't figure out is the trailer. Okay, so the trailer opens up kind of similar to how it does in G1, more probably closer to Rodimus's trailer than Optimus's. But the point being here is that it's designed, it looks like it's designed for something to tow it, but obviously you're not going to hook it up to a jet to tow. So I'm kind of wondering what is supposed to go there, because it seems incomplete, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't seem like there's no truck cab in the front of that. It's just, I don't know, it's just trailer. So I'm very confused. It feels like there's something missing, or it's designed to work with a toy that is not shown. But either way, yeah, it does look interesting. Not my thing, but still, I think a lot of people are going to be into it just for how weird it is, and for the craziness that Bandai's transforming toy line is crossing over with Transformers, which is insane as it is. Now, let us get into the reason you clicked on the video, because I used it for the thumbnail. We need to get into Adamus Machina. But before we get into the meat of it, let's take a look at the surprise. This is the Lost Light color scheme of their Rodimus figure. Now, I just got Adamus Machina Rodimus in. It is an absolutely brilliant piece. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Like, the design, like the engineering to it feels like Takara taking a shot at third-party nonsense in order to get the transformation to work as well as it does. And I love that they're going with the repaint here. I mean, obviously it's a repaint. You're getting into it for the same toy, but this is kind of an iconic color scheme for IDW Rodimus now. These are his murder getaway colors. And yeah, it's the first time I've seen the evil Rodimus colors actually work. The IDW design actually works with this very, very well. Yeah, I'm not going to double dip on Rodimus, but this is a really, really cool looking piece. Helps the sculpt is amazing, and then the colors are amazing. Oh, like, oh my god. I'm loving this thing. Yeah, and by the way, this toy just poses well. This toy just looks cool no matter what you do with it, no matter what angle it's at. Now, this is slated for a summer 2025 release. You can tell it's not a hand-painted prototype. This is production. This is ready to go. And yeah, if you missed out on it the first time, go for it. Like, this is such a good toy. Like, this is like easily surpassing Masterpiece for me right off the bat. But let's get into the meat of it. Let's get into the real reason you clicked on the video. We get to see Predaking. Adamus Machina Predaking, and this absolute incredible beast of a robot looking phenomenal. Let's get a better shot. Look at the pose. Like, look at this. There's aura dripping from this toy. It looks absolutely amazing. Like, so many like subtle design. Like here, we got to go to the close-up. We got to go to the close-up so you can just see like everything that's going on with this toy. The amount of paint is ridiculous. Like the detail, the sculpt is all there. Like the mechanical details are perfect. It looks so freaking good. It looks so freaking good. Like, even the color choices are really interesting. It's like there's no pitch black in here. It's a lot of gunmetal. It's a lot of near black. It's just very dark gray, but it's enhancing this for what I can tell. Like, he seems like he's got more life to him. And the tones, like, you're not dealing with like, okay, like Rampage is not red and orange. He's like this metallic red and bronze color. Like, it feels like everything on this Predaking is high class, high end. You know, just look at that. Look at how pretty it is. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I say that, and obviously, yes, I'm excited for this piece. It looks incredible. However, we do want to temper our expectations just a little bit here. So, like, for starters, it is doing something of the Combiner War thing. You can see the thighs of the robot modes are making up the biceps. The only difference this time is they've had the sense to sculpt the thighs to actually look like biceps when he's in Predaking mode. Also, I need to remind everybody, this is not a scale piece. This is not going to be like in the same similar scale as, you know, like Generations figures or anything. This is kind of doing its own thing. It's not even in scale to Adamus, Machina, Rodimus. From the original reveal that we had to this toy, I want to say this was like way smaller than we thought it would be, but any bigger, and I don't think anyone would possibly be able to afford it, especially looking at how intense this is coming out. So this is going to be a really cool Predaking, but don't expect it to be Generations compatible. Don't expect it to be gigantic. Don't expect it to be in scale with anything. I think it's just a Predaking doing its own thing. Now, if that thing is cool enough, then okay, we can talk. To this point, we don't know the price, and we have not seen these guys individually. I'm hoping as this toy show goes on, someone has the sense to give us a look at how these toys are separately when we get to see the 5 members on their own. But we don't know the price, and the price is a bad thing when this is also dated for summer 2025. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to drop down and like hit your bank account next month, because we don't even have pre-orders up for this thing yet. But it might be a late summer release at this point, you know, getting into your like, you know, your September, like your, you know, late August, early September thing. We will see. But for now, those are the reveals. An absolute incredible arrangement from Takara. Lots of stuff to get excited over. Yeah, it's looking amazing. It's looking absolutely amazing. Now again, like I said, if we get better photos of this, you'll see them on Monday for the news roundup. But for now, we're going to wrap it up here. Let me know what your favorite thing revealed is in the comments below. What are you the most excited for? I know it's going to be the Predaking, but I'm trying to try and play fair here. All right, but let me know in the comments below. And as always, I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.